whoever wants to kick us off, you can just unmute. And also, if you don't want to just unmute and talk, you can put in the chat, like, I have a question, and I'll call on you, so you don't have to feel like you're intruding.
Can we ask you about anything, Alex? Or
yeah, literally anything. Cutco, life questions if you want to ask or anything. I didn't know if I've sold $120,000 at Cutco through demos. So I've been around the moon a couple times. And by the way, this isn't to impress anybody, just so you know, like what I'm great at the like list. If you have like ultimate set or signature set questions, go to Colleen Dolan's breakout. Great at the like list. I'm great at getting recs. I have 2,500 people on my referrals list that I could call. I love selling Cutco. I have a passion for it. So if you have any questions about the actual products, I own basically everything we make. I've got old Cutco. This is from the 1950s. So I do love Cutco. So, okay. Yeah. You guys can ask any questions. I'll let someone go.
I got one.
Yes. What's up, Evan?
Yeah. So my question is, after you book up the demo with Mrs. Jones and she's cool to help you out, how do you move her from the stage of like, yeah, I'll help out this college kid to I want Cutco? Because sometimes I found myself like trying to close on the homemaker, and then Mrs. Jones is like, listen, I just did this to help you out. And then it makes me feel like slimy. Great question.
I would say if you guys want to start, if you want to jot some like bullet points down, I would say the first thing is make sure, and might sound contradicting, make sure to let them know at the beginning of the presentation that your number one goal is not to sell them Cutco today. Okay. You guys are all like, what? That doesn't make sense. What I always like to say is, hey, you know what, Mrs. Jones, my biggest goal today is not to sell you Cutco. It's really not. If I leave here without a sale, not a big deal. My biggest goal is that we have so much fun over the course of the next hour that you would want to tell all your friends about Alex, the guy showing you Cutco. So, Mrs. Jones, a win for me today is not you buying a bunch of stuff. A win is that we have a blast. We laugh. We have a good time. You want to tell all your friends about me, and you give me a big list of people that I can call. How does that sound? Does that sound fair? Like, I don't even want you to spend $10,000 on Cutco. I just want to have a good time. Mrs. Jones, she's going to be like, sure, yeah, whatever. That's fine. But what does that do? It lowers her guard. Or him in her guard. You want to see them both at the same time, but it lowers your customer's guard. Why is that a good thing? They're just going to be more open throughout the presentation. So when you lower someone's guard, for example, when I book an appointment with you, let's say, Steven, I call you, I book an appointment. You're like, sure, I'll do it to help you out. But it's a sale. It's a sales presentation. And as soon as the presentation starts, you get it. You're helping me out, but also I'm trying to sell you stuff. So the whole time your guard's up because you're protecting yourself from a salesperson. However, when you lower that guard, they're more open. They're having a good time. They actually hear things that you're saying. And so when you're creating a problem, junk knives, offering the solution, Cutco, showing them why the solution is absolutely irresistible, features and benefits, forever guarantee. By the time you actually ask for the order, they're in a completely different headspace. Instead of guards up, this person's trying to sell me something, you ask for the order, they say, hey, hold up, I did this to help you. Just so you know, I'm not trying to buy anything. Then you're like, dang it, it's like, just did all that for nothing. So that's why I always like to add at the beginning, hey, my biggest goal, by the way, not to sell you $10,000 of Cutco. My biggest goal is that we have so much fun over the next hour that when we get done, you want to tell all your friends about Alex, the Cutco guy, Alex, the Cutco kid. Does that sound like that? A win for me is not selling you a bunch of Cutco. A win is having a great time. Does that sound fair? Does that sound good, Mrs. Jones? All right, let's get after it. I've got a ton of cheesy jokes. Let's have a good time. By the way, too, I want this to be more of a conversation, not a presentation. Let's have a good time over the course of the next 45 minutes or so. That's how I would start it. Does that help? Is that cool? Nice. What, do you have any follow-up questions from that?
Yeah, I guess, when you do your demos, is that actually how you feel? Like, is you actually like, I don't care if she buys, I just want to have fun, or is that just something we say, or should we really believe that?
I would totally internalize that and believe that. And the reason why is, so I've done a lot of push periods. I don't know who here has been around long enough for a push period, or is everyone here kind of newer? Nick, Bradley, awesome, Luca, Kayla. So I've been a part of 4 push periods, and my first 3, I had 20K pushes. So I sold 20K in the push. And what happened every time was the first couple of days, I was having fun. I was enjoying it. I was selling a bunch of Cutco. And then my results were up here. I was on pace. But as soon as I was off pace, I started like thinking about like, okay, I've got to sell 3K today to stay on pace. And these are obviously, it's like to bigger proportion. But the mentality of like, I have to make a sale right now or I'm screwed. That's the same mentality that if you go into your demo, if let's say you have 3 demos set up for the week and your mentality is like, I've got to sell $1,000 or I'm not going to be able to pay rent. It's the same mentality of like, you're not going in thinking this is going to be fun. Let's have a good time. Mrs. Jones can feel it. I always like to use the analogy, you have CPO breath, where like, if your breath stinks one day, people tell you, dude, you got bad breath. Same with the demo. If you've got CPO breath, your customer can feel that. They feel that you need the sale. They know, and it makes them not want to buy anything. So if you truly believe like, hey, I'm going to have a good time. Cutco is Cutco. This person's going to love it. We're going to have fun. They're going to buy so much more. And like, if you trust that the universe will take care of you, it will. And like, if you have a good time, the job's more fun anyway. And by the way, buying is an emotional experience every time. Like, think about the things that you guys spend money on. You don't necessarily buy things because they're logical. You buy things because you feel good about it. I think of the last thing I bought was that book right there because I was on a call. Mike Muriel had me emotionally charged up, region manager Mike Muriel. He had me all fired up. He mentioned that he got half of the stuff from that book. I was fired up. He mentioned the book. I bought the book. It was emotional. am I going to read that book? I don't even know. I didn't think about it, but I felt good, so I bought it. It's the same with Cutco. So another rant. Sorry. I'll try to keep my answers shorter. Did that help anyone? Cool.
Helped a whole lot. It hit home right over here. I'm not even gonna lie to you. The moment you started talking about, well, we should have fun, basically, I got to think about it right away. Like, you know what? Every single time I was trying to sweet talk somebody into something, I waited until we was having fun or the joke just got out there or something. Then it's like, then you try to get them while they're in a good mood. And I was like, that kind of makes a lot of sense, to be honest.
See, totally. Hey, I'm going to give you guys something. I one time put a document together. It has 77 Cutco jokes on it. I don't know if you guys have got your hands on this before. I was telling so many jokes left and right. Some aren't even funny. Kayla already has it. I was telling jokes left and right last summer. And finally I was just like, I gotta put these on paper. I'm going to forget them. And then the more and more we started putting jokes. So here you go. Save that, print it off, put them all in your demo. And it's even funnier, you guys, if you're not like I see 3 people on there right now. Nice. If you're not like a telling joke type of person, that's exactly why you should tell the jokes. Because have you ever had a friend who's like, they're really not that funny, but their delivery being horrible of the joke is actually what made it funny. Like that person's actually funnier than your funny friend when you tell jokes. You know what I'm saying? So like, no matter who you are, jokes are a great time. If the customer's not laughing with you, they're going to laugh at you, which is also a great thing. So there you go. Evan, do you have any more follow-up questions to that?
I mean, I got another question. It's not follow-up, but
okay, we'll come back to you. Luca, I saw you on mute.
Thanks for those cutting-edge jokes.
Oh, that's not even on there, I don't think. See, I'm missing some. There's too many out there. Let me write that down quick. Cutting edge. Use cutting edge. Okay. All right. What's up? Did you have another question or just that cutting edge?
No, that was just
cutting edge analogy.
I got a question. What's the best way to handle when people say they'll get to the recommendations after the presentation? And they never do, obviously, but like, how do you get them to do it right there in front of you?
they'll get to it after like you leave.
They're like, oh yeah, I'll do that right when we're done. Or, like I'm explaining how the app works and they're like, yeah, I'll get to the Rex afterwards.
I love it. I love it. You know what I always say? I tell them, no, you won't. I tell them, you won't. No, you won't. Why? Because are they gonna? No. Do they think they're going to? Sure. Do they? No. So like I actually tell my customers that. I'm like, I love the thought, Mrs. Jones, but you're not gonna. Or I would say, I love the thought, Mrs. Jones. People do tell me that a lot, but they never do. Mrs. Jones, I trust that you might be different. You might actually, I know that you want to help out, but I'll tell you right now, if it was me, I wouldn't spend the time after doing it just because I know you've got to. So you don't have to word it like this, but I hope you guys see the point. It's like you can sugarcoat it, you can make it sound sweet, but you also should tell them straight up, hey, I appreciate the gesture. I do. I've had a lot of people who've told me that. And Mrs. Jones, do you know how many people have ever actually sent me them after? 0. Or if you've had someone actually send them, be like 1. But I don't know if anyone here has said more than 1. Michael, have you?
Funny, but this is, I don't know if you're intentionally being funny, but this is like comedy gold for some reason.
Hey, your customer might be laughing too, because you can tell me like, hey, I know you mean well, but I've had one person ever actually send them after. So is there a couple people that you could give me on paper that I could write down right now while we're together, put them down in this moment? And hey, if you want to give me more after, you definitely can. You have the app, you can definitely click on them. But is there anybody in this moment that you can give me to help out? So I'd like be direct, be straight up. I've been in that situation and you're like, yeah, that's fine. Yep, totally. Because you're like, but in your head, you're like, dang it, I missed it. Then I would tell them. What did I read? Oh, by the way, hello, Kylie. Welcome. I think we're having a good time in this breakout. We only lost one person so far. I'm just kidding. You guys can leave whenever. There's a lot of good people on here. But yeah, they mean well, but I would tell them straight out, be like, hey, you know what? I really appreciate that. However, I've only had one person actually submit them after or send me people after. So if there's anybody you have in this moment that I could just jot down, even on this piece of paper, who would that be? So that's my answer to that.
Wait, you guys mentioned like an app. Is there a different way to do Rex besides just getting the names? Oh, what's their number? And taking them down, like, and putting them in our Q app? Is there a different, or is that the app you're referring to?
We now use an app called Vector Impact, but every office uses, or every division uses something different.
Okay.
If Q is what we used last summer, same thing though. You get them on paper, put them in the Q app, same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was something Mrs. Jones could just click her contacts and automatically sends them.
There will be eventually coming your way.
That'll be dope.
Yeah.
Just forward the whole list.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Funk.
Nick, what's up?
I got one question and one thing to say. Huge fan of your channel. I watched all your videos.
Thanks, man.
I subscribe to it, dude. I actually use that opening now. It's about not selling $10,000. Not only has it improved my sales, but it's improved my recommendations because we had fun. And every time I say it, it keeps my mind in the frame of having fun. So thank you for that big tip. And my real big question is, dog, when are you going to take me field training with you so I can see you in action?
Hey, I would love to take anybody field training. Here, I'm not doing a lot of demos right now, but here's my phone number. Everyone save it, okay? Seriously, save it. And then text me every couple weeks and say, you got demos? If you're struggling, text me and say, hey, you got demos? Not even joking, okay? Text me, you got demos? Odds are I say, no, I don't. But if I do, you caught me at the right time. You got demos? Include your name. Which video are you talking about, Nick?
The one where you're sitting there, I believe it's on the porch, and you're like,
Cool.
I'm not here to sell you I'm not here to sell you $10,000 worth of Cutco. I'm here just to have fun with you for the next 45 minutes to an hour. Just
Cool.
just do all that. And like ever since I've seen that, I started implementing that in my opening as part of my goal sharing. It's my number one goal I share before I get into what, my actual goals. And it's not only has it improved my view of doing a demo, but it's improved my sales, and it's also improved my recommendations at the end because they had as much fun as I did with it. So thank you
That's
for
awesome.
that tip. And I crack up. I watch your Lululemon video. I watch that almost daily just to get my daily crack up going, dude. Amazing.
I didn't know that I didn't know I was making people laugh. So I'm like, here.
Oh, dude, your Lululemon video is amazing. Like, you pull over on the highway just to talk about your Lululemon and give us, and somehow you go from Lulu to giving nuggets about Cutco. And I'm just sitting here like 8 o'clock in the morning drinking coffee. Like, I'm not even trying to work right now. And I'm just finding myself writing pages and notes from your video. So good stuff, man. You're a legend in my eye, dog.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Hey, guys, that's what I mean, though. I do love Cutco. So if you haven't seen that video, if you don't love Cutco as much as I do, maybe that video will make you understand. The video is called Help Mrs. Jones Understand, but hey, if you don't understand yet, maybe check out that vid. Thanks, Nick, though. I appreciate it. My love language is words of affirmation, so that was cool. Anyone else who's got a question? Come on. Any question. There's no dumb question.
What kind of like route do you do for like the wish list? Like, how do you do wish lists?
Cool. Yeah, wish list. I love to go. This is how there's a video on my channel too of this. This is how I like to do the wish list. They say no to the starter sets. I say, hey, no worries, Mrs. Jones. The set's not for everybody. What I would love for you to do, and we'll do this together. This is like me doing verbatim, okay? What I would love for you to do, and hey, we'll do this together, is create a like list. And on your like list, Mrs. Jones, these are not pieces that you think you're going to buy today. These are just pieces you like. So imagine now all the Cutco knives are falling from the sky, handles down, of course. And they're all laying there on the street. What are the first couple knives that you would run out there and grab before your neighbor gets them? So I'm gonna start building a list, Mrs. Jones. So what's the first one? And hey, actually, I'm gonna recommend you do a ton of homemade salsa. So it sounds like you chop all the time. I'm gonna actually, on your like list, I'm gonna put a petite chef. How does that? Sounds like you need a good chef knife. Okay, cool. And hey, remember, these are pieces that you like and that I think you would use. You're not necessarily buying these today. So number one, we got petite chef. What else would you put on there? Okay, pause, time out. So far, do you guys feel like there's pressure involved here of like, hey, let's build a wish list of things? Like, do you guys feel like there's pressure?
No.
I hope there's not anyway, because the goal isn't to get Mrs. Jones to list off a bunch of stuff that she thinks she's going to buy today. You really want her believing that it's just a bunch of stuff she likes. Why you want to pick the first one for them is because it just gets the ball rolling. Have you guys ever, like, in your own life, it's like the hardest workout is the first workout. The hardest pull-up is the first pull-up. Like the hardest, you guys know what I'm trying to get at here. Like the hardest one's the first one. So once you get something on paper, once you get the ball rolling, that ball will keep rolling. And energy, an object in motion. Come on, science. Somebody here.
Motion.
Yeah. I couldn't see. Steven, was that you? Nice.
Yeah.
But you really want to get the ACT science was my worst by far, you guys. But yeah, you want to get the ball rolling, get the first one for them, and then they'll start rattling stuff off. So is that what you meant by like, how do I start?
Yeah. And like also like as far as like going through the sets, do you also kind of do like other run throughs of like, because like the Santokus are not really like it's in one of the other sets, but there's like a ton of other stuff that's like not there that I feel like they don't really know unless you kind of like talk about it.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So what I don't know if this answers your question. What I actually show when I do the like or the wish list or the like list, I actually have the ultimate set up on my screen. Why I show the ultimate set is because it shows actually all the pieces instead of just because I think on the individual knife page there's some missing. Is that what you mean?
Kind of, yeah. Like I don't really have like a way of doing that to where it's like, hey, out of all of these like knives, it's like, what do you think that you're like could get good value out of, or something that you like, or whatever. So you pretty much just have the like ultimate set.
Yeah, I always show the ultimate set. Another line that show the ultimate set is what I do. Another line I always like to say is, hey, if you were only going to use, like if there was one knife on this page that you would use tomorrow, what would that knife be? If there was a knife I showed in this presentation that you'd use tomorrow, or you'd use later today, what would that knife be? And usually right away they'll be like, well, we do make sandwiches. And it's like, oh, cool. Okay, I'll write the spatula down. And again, you're not buying this stuff, but at least then you can at least see what the price would be. Mm-hmm. That way, at least you can get a picture of what the price would be.
All right. Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Any other follow-up questions on the like list page 12? It's my favorite page.
Not to page 12, but have you actually sold a Santoku style signature?
Oh, I haven't. No.
Yeah,
I've sold a lot of Santokus, but
I have a Santoku style signature.
Have you sold one, Bradley?
No, but I have one.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. No, I haven't. How do you like it?
I love it. It's a lot better than the regular signature.
Wow.
Really?
You should make a video describing all the great features. I'll maybe put it on my YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, who else? Next question. You got some good time here left.
I have a follow-up question to
Micah,
kind of several other things. So how do you get from like creating a wish list to like actually potentially making an order?
Awesome. Yeah. So Mrs. Jones, I get the ball rolling with the petite chef. All right. So, hey, I picked the petite chef. Who actually here, who wants to be the customer? I was going to say, Micah, you can, because you asked the question.
Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah. Okay. So you're Mr. Jones in this case. So I always have Post-it notes. I'm a big Post-it guy. You guys can use whatever. You should have a nice, Kylie. I actually really recommend you guys, if you're not already, taking notes in your presentation. I shouldn't use Post-it notes because then I don't have them forever, but for some reason I love these things. Have a notebook and actually be keeping track of what your customers are saying. Because what's really, really, it looks like a lot of people are, which is great. But the things you want to keep track of is any little thing that it's easy to get caught up in. You got your manual, you got the presentation, you got the customer. But what's really important is anytime they say any little thing about, they do this a lot, or they cut up this a lot, or their eyebrows raise when you show them the trimmer cutting the tomato, or they do one of these when they see the super shears cut the penny. Like any little thing, right? You want to watch the body language. Let's say they're sitting like this. You show the petite chef. If they go like this, what does that mean? You're scrambling to write down petite chef. So like you want to watch those little cues here and there. That's what's great about virtual demos is they have no idea what you're writing on your side. Back when we were in person, it was always like you kind of try to keep track in your head, but like virtually you can literally write whatever. But anyway, okay, so you're writing. I'm using Post-it note. So we got petite chef. Micah, what else do you think that you would use on a pretty regular basis?
Yeah, I can definitely see myself using the trimmer. Cut up lots of small fruits and vegetables every single day. So trimmer is definitely on there.
Classic trimmer. That's awesome. How many of those?
Just one for right now. I think one is fine.
Okay. What else? We have petite chef. You got trimmer.
Yeah, I'd say spatula spreader. You said those were like really good on avocados and whatnot. So I'd definitely use it.
Spatula. Awesome. Okay. What else do we got? Spatula.
And last would probably, just be the cheese knife. I think would be the last one.
Cheese knife. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm pulling up my demo really quick. I'm gonna actually I'm gonna show you guys how I would put it on the screen. And then a cheese knife. How many of those?
I think one is fine as well on those.
One's fine. Okay.
Yep.
So we have a petite chef, a trimmer, a spatula, a cheese knife, any other knives. The more you put on this list, by the way, the more money you would, or the more you would potentially save. It's kind of like Costco. Is there any other knife that you would put on this list as a gift for yourself?
Sure. Super shears. Probably be
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. And for that fifth one, you guys, I would actually always, you just suggest. Sophia, what's up? Welcome. Okay, guys, here we go. Here we go. We're in the process of a like list. Can you guys see the demo?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Okay. What about the? Okay. Yeah, we have 5. We'll just, for the sake of time, we'll roll with the 5. Okay, and then I actually, once you get 5 knives, you guys blow this like list up. You want this list to be, not even joking, you want this list to be 10 items. You want this list to be 15 items. You want this list to be, if you can get your like list to a $2,000 like list, what does that look like for Mrs. Jones when she says no and you drop down? You drop down from 2,000 to 1,000, looks smaller. You could drop down from 1,000 to 500, it looks smaller. So it's all about reshaping their mind of like, what's a small order, all right? This is why this Cutco sales professionals sell so much. They actually, the first thing they offer is the Cutco kitchen, right? Has anyone here even offered a Cutco kitchen before? Evan's like once, Kylie has. That's the first thing that they offer to any customer is they talk about the Cutco kitchen, why it makes sense. Then they pitch the price last. Then the customer's like, oh, 10K, can't swing that. But 3K for the ultimate set? Yeah, we can do that. Anyway, that's a side note. Think bigger. Think bigger. Okay, so we have 5 things on the like list. And then I'm gonna go through, I'm not gonna right now for the sake of time, like I said, but then I'll go through the gadgets and then you go through the shears. Hey, what about cheese knives? I know you have one on there. What about as a gift or a soft grip? Could you see yourself using this paring knife? Do you like the idea of a longer paring knife that you can use on your cutting board? What about outdoor items? How often do you have anyone in your life who fishes a lot or hunts? Oh, your husband does? Do you want it? Should we throw one of these on as a future gift for him? Sure, right? Or whatever. Now we've got the like list completely built up. What I like to do then is, you guys can do this as well. Nick Anderson, what's happening? What I like to do then is I throw up my whiteboard and I'll say, and sometimes you can type right on the demo if you want to. You guys all know how to do this, right? Share whiteboard, share screen, whiteboard. So instead of sharing your presentation, when you click share screen, there's an option that says whiteboard and it's 2 to the right. Okay. And then if you guys want to, I don't know if you can practice right now. I don't know if it'll let you. Can you? If you click share screen, do you see whiteboard? No.
We don't have.
Okay. Write down in your notes, share screen, whiteboard. Okay. This is how I like to present the like list to Mrs. Jones. I'm going to use fake numbers, you guys, for the sake of time. But I have a list right here of 8 different items. 8 different items that you told me. I have the shears that you told me. The shears, the hunting knife, the fisherman solution, the cheese knife, the spatula, the trimmer, and the paring knife. So now I like to offer 2 different deals up to Mrs. Jones on a whiteboard. So I like to go like this. Hey, Mrs. Jones, I typed in all the things you liked. Now, is it all right? Ask for permission, makes people feel good. Is it all right if I show you the deals that you could possibly get with your like list? Whether it's today or whether it's whenever, like, is it okay if I show you the deals that we could make? Ms. Jones is like, sure, yeah, that's fine. Okay, then you pull up your little whiteboard here and you say, hey, this is option number 1. This is option 1. That would be your your petite chef, your trimmer for your soft fruits and vegetables. You've got your spatula for your avocados. You've got your cheese knife for when you guys host those parties. These are real examples that they gave for, he said avocado, remember that? You've got your shears for cutting your pennies. You've got your hunting knife for your son's graduation. You've got the fisherman's for your husband's birthday. And you've got your 4-inch paring knife for your blank that she said she would use it for. This is option 1, all right? And then Mrs. Jones, I made an option 2 for you. And option 2 is a little smaller. It's just the things that it sounded like you would use tomorrow if you had them. So all I took off this one is your gifts. And then I also took off that 4-inch paring knife because it sounded like you would love to have that, but you wouldn't necessarily use it tomorrow if you had it. So option 2 is just, I always like to call the bare necessities, Mrs. Jones. So you have option 1, option 2. Now, option 1, the normal price is $750. Examples. These are examples. Your price today is a savings of 18% and a total of $570. So that's option 1. Okay, why do we have, someone tell me, unmute, tell me, why do we have N and Y right here?
No and yes.
Yeah, right? So normal price, your price, but really it's no and yes. Savings of 18%. Does anyone here know why we would use 18% instead of a dollar amount? Does anyone have a guess?
Make it
It's
seem
more
like a higher
impactful.
discount.
Oh, we had a couple people. Kayla, what'd you say?
I said it's more impactful to use a discount versus the number. Because if you say 18% versus, or you're saving X amount, it might not make a difference to them if you say, oh, you're saving X amount, but if you're saying, oh, I'm saving X percent, it's like, it sounds more significant in a way.
Nice. Was there someone else who unmuted who said something different? No. Okay. Sophie, hello. Why 18%? 2 reasons. And Kayla, you're right on. 1, humans are conditioned to see percentages off as a good thing. Think about it. When you walk in a store, your eyes are attracted to that rack on the right that says 20% off everything. And you're like, oh, 20% off. And like, no matter what the cost of the item is, you think it's a good deal. It's the same with this. The other part is, like she said, 20% is far more impactful. Because if you say, hey, 20% off, that person's like, oh, I'm saving 20%. But if you say, hey, you're saving $130, that $130 means nothing to them. Because then in their mind, they don't think about saving $130. Like their gas bill that month was probably $330. So that $130 means nothing to a homeowner. Remember, things in the home cost thousands, not hundreds. Remember that from training. So that's why I throw up a percentage. And then I say, hey, on the right here is option 2. This one, normal price, let's say $450. Your price is a savings of 16% on this one. And your price comes out to $399. So the only thing here I want you guys to see is the vocabulary I used was the same. The deal is almost the same, but which one do you want to make a better deal? The bigger one. Because then then you say this, I always say, hey, of these 2 options, which one do you like better? Okay. So it's a buying question, but you're not asking for the order, because the whole time you started the presentation with, hey, we're going to have fun. The whole time you had fun. They said no to everything. You said not a big deal. You said, we're going to make a like list. These are things you kind of liked. Ashley, hello. These are, and Sherelle, did I say that right? Nice. And then you get to the like list. You say, these are things you might like, but you're not necessarily going to buy. And then when you finally present the offers, their wheels are turning, their emotions are running high. They're loving this. And you say, which deal do you like better? Where's my Mr. Jones at? I can't see him. Micah, where are you? There you are.
Yeah.
Which deal do you like better?
The savings of 18%, the option one looks pretty good.
You like option one? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So option one, hey, again, you get their emotions back, feeling great. You remind them, chef knife for your blank, trimmer for blank, spatula for blank, cheese knife for blank. Your husband's going to love you forever because you get him a fisherman's. Your son is never going to forget about the amazing graduation gift you gave him because he'll have the hunting knife forever. You have your super shears in this. Like I said, your price is $570, but Mrs. Jones, all you would actually have to pay today is $137 because you can split the cost of Cutco up 5 times. And hey, after 3 weeks, expect a text from me. I'm going to text you. I'm going to say, how much do you love your Cutco? Because I know you're going to love it. I just want to see like where on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're at an 11, but I'm going to say, how much do you love your Cutco? And if there's something on this list that you're not absolutely in love with, I will personally pay for the shipping back for you to send it, get a full refund on that one item. So Micah, what do you think? Want to go with your option one, like list right there, 137 today, lock down your Cutco forever.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Yep, let's do it. Done. And then, hey, do the things that I just said, though. Text your customers after 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Ask them, how much do you love your Cutco? The replies are freaking awesome. You'll get replies of people showing you Band-Aids on their fingers. You'll get replies of people telling you jokes. Like you'll get replies of people with 10 exclamation points that absolutely love it. And then also it creates that feeling of warmth in you where next time you reach out or like next time you see them, it's like, oh my gosh, like this person loves their Cutco. You can ask them questions about it instead of like, I remember when I first started, I never followed up. I never asked people how their Cutco was because I didn't want to know. I was like, oh, they bought that from me, like, but they freaking love it and they want you to ask them about it. Because what's cool is when I realized how your excitement transfers so much, how much they will love the product. Because when I bought my car, it's a Honda Accord. It's sitting outside my house right now. When I bought it, the guy who sold me the car almost acted like I was doing a disservice to him. And I remember thinking in my head, like, I'm like, we exchange. He gives me the keys. I give him the check. And he like didn't smile. He like almost was like upset that it felt so weird. I was like, why is this guy not excited? What is wrong with this car? What did I get myself into? Like, what is going on right now? Think of the complete opposite. If Mrs. Jones says, yes, I want to buy that today, let's do it. And you're already like this, you're smiling super big. You're like, yes, you're going to love it so much. Like, I can't wait. I'm going to text you in 3 weeks. I'm going to say, how much do you love it? Because I know you're going to love it, but I'm going to ask you how much. What kind of energy is surrounding that purchase? So then guess what Mrs. Jones is doing for the next 3 weeks? Patiently waiting for her Cutco to arrive because it's going to change her life in the kitchen forever. And then when that box comes, it feels like Christmas. And then when she uses it for a day and falls in love with it, then she gets a text from you that says, hey, how much do you love your Cutco? What's her reaction going to be? Fired up. And do you think she's going to return anything? Not a chance. Because she loves it. Because you love it. And you love Mrs. Jones. Well, maybe not. But you will when she buys Cutco from you. All right. That turned into a love fest for Cutco, as it always does. Dang it. I love this stuff. All right. So that's how I present the like list and ask for the order with a lot of enthusiasm. Any questions after that?
You got demo tomorrow?
No, I don't. Appreciate you. Appreciate you asking. I should record one time, huh? Throw it up on YouTube. Yeah. I don't know what kind of customer would be like if I'm like, hey, could I record this hour-long conversation and throw it on public YouTube? And we're gonna have your credit card number in there. It's gonna be a good time. Your address, phone number, all that.
They would own the most Cutco in the world. Everybody watch your video and get an order from them.
Oh, that's awesome. We have a couple minutes. Some final questions or follow-up questions.
Just one quick question.
Yep.
So how do you find the savings? Like, is it just based on like how much you bonus in the app as you're bonusing stuff, or?
The calculator on top will tell you. Yep, the percentage on top will tell you, and that's their savings. Xavier, by the way, hello. Oh wait. Oh, is he gone? I didn't welcome him in, then he left. Ashley, hello. Now you can't leave. I'm just kidding.
What is your favorite piece?
Favorite piece of Cutco?
Yeah.
Great question. All of them. No, I'm just kidding. I love the Hardy Slicer. And actually, I think that's why I sell a ton of signature sets. I think because that's the one piece, like they can really see themselves using the cheese knife and the super shears. But if you can get them to understand the value of the Hardy Slicer, I think that's that's your selling point. But the reason I love it so much, and I have one right here all the time. I actually cut myself on this a couple weeks ago because I was fired up doing a demo, and I ripped this thing out of the sheath, sliced my finger, and it was like right at the beginning. I looked down, I'm like, hold up, like I wish I was joking, but I just cut myself on Cutco. Guess that person bought a galley set, of course, right? But I love it because this thing you can use. It's the barbecue knife, and so like I'm from a small rural town. Everyone barbecues. So I'm like, this is Mr. Jones's favorite knife. It's the All-American, but Mrs. Jones, like rack of ribs, tough brisket, any frozen meat, you can jab and saw your way through. And then on the signature set page, if you guys didn't know this is the heaviest knife on that entire page. So when you're sharing your screen, I always like to point out, again, this will help you guys sell a ton of signature sets, I think. So I'm glad you asked. But when you're on the signature set screen, right, here it is. Signature set, it looks like a small knife. It's not. And so I always say, hey, Mrs. Jones, that Hardy Slicer right there, we call it the barbecue knife. That's Mr. Jones's favorite knife. It'll crack and saw through your toughest meat, your rack of ribs, your tough brisket, frozen meat. You can crack and saw your way through. I always love to point out, it looks like a small knife. It's not. It's the heaviest knife on the page. And so Mrs. Jones, if you've got like a tough rutabaga, a squash, a yam, a sweet potato, this is actually the one. If you have trouble, you can crack and saw through anything. You got a coconut, go for it. That's the Hardy Slicer. Is awesome. It's heavy. It has a double D edge. You can basically, this is your jack of all trades in case you ever need to cut something up that you just can't get through in the kitchen. So it's my favorite knife because it's excuse me, pardon my French, is badass knife. It's sick. I'm actually on this day, I'm trying to stop swearing. So you guys got to call me out for that. But it's absolutely nasty. If you guys can love this knife, you'll sell some Siggies for sure. But all right, 6 on the dot. Last question. Who we got? Nick, you looking? You want to unmute? Evan, what do you got?
I know you're not supposed to do demos with Mrs. Jones alone, but how do you get past the I need to ask my husband? Because there was one time I got past it with the objection cycle, and then she returned her knives and said I shouldn't have done that without my husband asking. So or without asking my husband, what? How do you go about that?
Great question, man. And I love that you answered your own question. I'm just kidding. Yes, do a demo with both people, but in case you don't, which, hey, we all make mistakes. I'm just kidding. In case it's just Mrs. Jones, I think what's really important is pre-handling it, what's not really important. What is important is pre-handling it. That's any objection. The more you can pre-handle it when it comes up, it's like they know the answer before you give it to them. So pre-handling it would be when you are on the Forever Guarantee page. There's a line in here that I skipped my entire first year. And so if there's anyone in here that skips this line, because I always did, I don't know why. It's because it's italicized. I always skipped it. But it literally says, I want to make sure I get it right. It says, if spouse is not present. You guys see that? I always skipped it. But hey, Mrs. Jones, we can't always see both spouses together. You can try them out together for a few weeks risk-free to make sure that you both love it. Hey, I throw this in. It's like, hey, Mrs. Jones, just like you test drive a car, Cutco wants you to be able to try out the knives in your own kitchen for a couple weeks together, on your own food, on your own time, in your own hands to make sure that you absolutely fall in love with it. And if you don't absolutely fall in love with Cutco, it's just, I always say it's just like a breakup, Mrs. Jones. You can always break up with Cutco. You can always send it back. But hey, unlike a real breakup, this time you actually get your money back. Huh? How about that one? But just so they know, like, hey, Cutco wants you to try the knives on your own, in your own kitchen, on your own time. Like, Cutco wants you to get your hands on them and try them with your spouse. The reason why is because nobody ever returns Cutco, but you can even tell them that. It's like people always try it, people always love it. I know that doesn't necessarily help, but really just let them know that they can use it together. The other half of the objection, I'd say, is you can always use the analogy of tools in a shed. Mrs. Jones, does your husband have any tools out in the garage? If she says yes, it's like, hey, do you know how much he spent on all of those tools? She's going to say, I don't know, thousands of dollars. And you say, do you know how often he actually uses all of them? And you can be like laughing with her for this. She's like, hey, you know how often he uses his tools? And she can be like, I don't know, not very often. You know, he just has them because he thinks he's an alpha male or something. I'm just kidding. But the point is, like, you want her to understand that these are her tools. And Mr. Jones has his tools out in the shed that he probably uses all the time. But this is, if she does most of the cooking, which if she's the one seeing the presentation with you, maybe she doesn't do all the cooking, but then if she doesn't do the cooking and she's the one seeing the presentation, you might be out of luck. But if she does the cooking, then it's like, you want her to really understand this is her tool chest. Like, these are her tools. She deserves the best of the best. And you want to like empower her. And be like, hey, if Mr. Jones has his, you can have yours. And like, that's the analogy I always like to use. Does it always work? No. But it gives you a better chance when she understands and has that emotional connection of like, hey, he does have all of those tools and he never touches them because it's better. Mr. Jones' logic is it's better to have it. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So it's like the same energy for her. All right. How is that for handling objection? You guys already say that? You guys already know that one? Dang, you guys are educated. Oh, Gerald, thank you. Fire. Nice set of knives on there, though. Seriously. That is, except no steak knives on them. What's up, Evan?
I was just going to say, when you said you should text your Cutco customers, see how they love the knives, I actually text someone who they were like one of my first orders of my fast start, and they had a Siggy, and they text me back, I love my knives, and thank you for everything.
See? Hey, you guys, that is energy. That is the energy right there. Also, last nugget for you guys here, and you might already do this too, because you guys are all awesome. I didn't do this for a while, but always live a life of gratitude. Here, I'll share in the chat. This is what I'll show you guys. I'll share my screen quick. This is what I always send my customers. Ready? I think you guys might get a kick out of this. Wait for it.
He's about to boot us all out this breakout room. That's what he's about to do.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Yeah, get out of here. Okay, here, quick. This is the thank you card I send right here. Every single customer that buys Cutco from me, I send them a thank you card. So here's the first. This is what I say. So if you guys want to take a picture of this, or put your own words, whatever. Then wait for it. Okay, take a picture quick if you want it. This is what I throw in there. Hey, ready? A little Band-Aid action. They love it. They absolutely love it. And then when you reach out 3 weeks later, this is what they're like, oh, we love the Band-Aid. Like, you're so funny. I'm like, I know it. But that wasn't my idea, by the way. I stole that from someone, so you might know that. All right, that's it. I believe the time is out for sure. Oh wait, I don't know how long we're supposed to be here. Anyone have one last question? I actually have time. One more. Otherwise, you guys can go. You can go if you want to. I'll take one more question though.
Is that your personal? Because you don't really do demos, you say, but how you're pulling up the signature set or the ultimate set, and you have, because that's like what, like 35 pages. Do you like make your own presentation?
I don't make there was just like a couple things I tweaked, is all. But I use the exact same view cut. Oh wait, sorry. Every division uses, some divisions use my Cutco demo. I see head nods. In North Star, we used viewcutco.com. So it's like the same thing. Mine's just, I guess, a little bit
Yeah,
different.
Gateway is a little bit different than all of your else.
Yeah,
So
I forgot about that actually. But yeah, it's just a little different.
Right on.
Same, you can do the same thing with it though, right? You can still show the same signature set, say the same jokes, use the same lines.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Thank you.
all right. Yeah, my pleasure. Hey, thanks for being here, everyone. And is it Natalie? Yes, perfect. Okay, I didn't say hello. I normally say hello. Hello, and yeah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay. I'm good. I'm good. All right. Thanks, guys, for being here. If you didn't get my number before, here, if you guys ever need anything, there's a lot of faces, so I may not put a name to a face, but if you need anything, there's my phone number. Save it in your phone. Text me and ask every once in a while if I have any demos. Hey, subscribe to my YouTube. The only reason I say that is because I do put a lot of effort into it, only because I want to help as many people as possible. And so there's a lot of good stuff on there if you want to check it out. Share the videos if they help you, because I do that for people, for the people. So I like hearing that, like Nick loves it.
Great YouTube channel, man. Like there's not too many Cutco YouTube channels out there. Like me and Gerald, we're in the same office. And, I have like all the K-bars and the fishermen and all that. And there's just not very much info, like video-wise, for the solution or the K-bars. And I'm like, dude, I need to make these and put them out there. I was like, but I don't have Alex Funk's, like his drive when he's talking, dude. Like, I couldn't be like, I could just show him the knife, but I don't have your kind of, energetic deal going into a video. Like, it's amazing, dude.
Let's do a collab. Let's do a collab on the K-bar stuff. I don't know a ton about. Let's do a collab on K-bar, Nick. Text me right now.
Both of them.
Let's do a K-bar collab and put it on the YouTube.
Sounds good.
Not even kidding. I don't have any K-bar stuff on my YouTube. Here, what's your number?
Let's do it.
What's your number, hey?
Huh?
Or what? Text me. Text me right now. Hey guys, peep it. We're gonna get a K-bar vid out. It's gonna be awesome. You get my number in the chat? You see it in there? Gerald, yes. I better get a like and a comment from you, Gerald.
Check your phone.
I didn't get it. 320 733-0405.
Is it 320?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Hold on.
K-bar info coming soon. Love it. All right. I gotta go. I gotta make a couple phone calls, eat some dinner. Thank you guys for staying on all the way to the end and asking great questions. We'll see you guys. We'll talk to you guys soon. Nick, text me.
There?
No. 320-733.
Why is it not doing that?
Lucy, what up? I'm closing out literally right now. Nick's just get my phone number.
Okay, it's all
We're doing
good.
we're doing a collab on my YouTube.
Okay, phenomenal. I don't know what that means exactly, but it's okay.
You'll see. You'll see soon.
Okay, don't worry. I like it when you post stuff on YouTube so that I can watch it and learn.
I love my YouTube. I love that you love my YouTube. Sorry, I'm multitasking.
Gotcha. No problem, Bob.
Okay. Nick, here, I'm going to post it in the chat. I got to make a couple phone calls.
Okay.
There. Oh, I got it. All right, see you guys.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bye.
Later.